And the song is called One Step Back. We'll be right back with the interview. All right.
Welcome back to the balcony. We are on the phone with the one and only Marc Ambrosia. Hi, Marc.
Hello.
We just heard your song, One Step Back, which is really cool. You want to tell our listeners something about that, please?
Yeah, so One Step Back, this was a sad song, man. I think I wrote it in 2014, so it's a few years old. But basically, it was really about the first girl I ever really fell in love with. I was 15, and she ended up moving to a different school, and it just sort of broke my heart. And I ended up sending her this letter, just sort of telling her exactly how I felt about her, and, well, I say letter, but I guess it was more like a Facebook message or something like that. And I remember just, coming home every day and waiting for maybe a response, and I never got anything. And a few years later, she came up in conversation with a friend of mine, and the friend of mine who brought her up just sort of said, "Oh, dude, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring her up. Is that a sore subject?" And I was just sort of taken aback because I, didn't know that he knew anything of the situation. And he just said, "Oh, I was there when she got the letter, and we both laughed our asses off." And that just sort of like gutted me all over again. And
I toss her under the bus right here on this show. I got no problem with it.
There we go. Yeah.
I could make her life miserable.
There you go. Her name was Jess, by the way.
Yeah, Jess.
Get that out right now.
Wow, kind of like a really
snotty.
Yeah.
Shallow.
Shallow.
I think she works for Trump now.
There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect candidate.
So that's where that song sort of started. And so I came home from school that day, sort of just pissed off about the whole situation. Like, because how, she's going to go do that and laugh with her friend about me. And I just sort of felt bad. So I sort of sat down and I sort of thought I was going to write a really pissed off song. But I ended up writing the line, "Never knew what love was till it found itself in you." And then I just sort of turned into a puddle of mush after that. But I have a good song to show for it, so I guess it was worth it.
So, obviously then, your writing comes from experiences or matters of the heart. At least, kind of that's what I'm feeling when I'm listening to your music, that you're speaking to what's happening. And so how do you approach that, other than, obviously this was not a really good thing, but how does that happen for you? Is it just like always like something significant, or you know what I mean? Or is it just part of life?
Yeah, I think sometimes, a lot of my best songs come from things that are very significant. I don't know if I would have even started writing songs if it wasn't for significant things. I started writing when my mom died, and then 6 months after that, my best friend died of cancer. And so that sort of just got me writing. And then from there, writing became my haven for every significant happening, every heartbreak, every troubling thing in life. It just I found my voice, and I found a way to process my feelings in song and writing. But, sometimes the very opposite of that happens. I could be walking down the road, and I pass someone in the street and they just have a smile that takes my breath away, and off I go and I write a song about just somebody's really enchanting smile. So it can be something really significant, but it can also be something really insignificant. It's I think for me, writing is all about finding the beauty in significant things and the mundane and common things.
So why did you choose music, Mark? I mean, why is that your medium per anything else? I think music chose me more than anything. It's just from the very beginning when I was a little kid and I didn't even really know music was a career choice or something I could excel in. It just I heard music and I just felt an instant connection to it, and I just felt an instant enchantment with it, and I knew it's where I felt the most at home and the most comfortable and strong and brave and confident and vulnerable and all of that good stuff that is part of the human experience I found through music.
Now, I know, a few years ago when I met you, you were working as a duo. So what's kind of led you to take on this more solo approach to your music?
We were, Shane Rojas and I he's an amazing guitarist and a really good singer and a great writer. And we spent 5 years working together and recording, and obviously we recorded our EP with you at Midnight Studios. But it just we just sort of reached an impasse, really, where fundamentally we were just sort of in different mindsets. The thing that really clinched it for me is we were talking about long-term plans, and he just sort of said, well, I'm not really going to throw my life away for a dream. And that was that was where I started seeing red flags, because for me it was like chasing the dream was was what gave my life purpose. And so sort of realizing that much of a fundamental difference.
But I think that what it is you made a good choice for you. And not that you guys, I'm sure you guys are still friends and everything. But yeah, it's, when someone gets hooked on this whole, this music drug per se, it's not something you could just kind of like let go. I mean, I know exactly how you feel. So if, someone's not there supporting that vision with you, it's okay to say, hey, you know what? Maybe we do have to kind of just step away from each other and, do what we got to do. But, that's never a bad thing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and that's exactly what happened. And when I was working on this new studio album, I had taken some songs that Shane and I had written together, and sort of I wanted to rework them and redo them my own way. And he was really understanding with that. And I asked him to come in and play guitar on one of the tracks, and he came in and did that well over a year ago, I guess. And, it was a very fleeting moment, but I think he's really... I don't think it's something he could see himself doing long term, but I think, in my heart of hearts, I think he's happy that I'm doing it.
I'm sure he's going to support you. If he's a top notch friend, absolutely. People love seeing their friends definitely succeed. So,
okay.
The next track we're going to listen to is "World with You." So, tell us a little bit about that.
"World with You," yeah. So this is one of those songs that Shane and I had written together long before I started making any solo albums. And when it came time to make this new record, I knew a lot of the songs were sort of going to be about, my personal love interests and relationships and things like that. And "World with You" was one of those songs that I had written about this girl, and my best friend Danielle and I actually, we had talked about taking a trip to Italy and, going to go see the world. And, we sort of said, well, for $3,000, the two of us could probably, do this trip, and it would, be really fun. And we just stayed up late one night talking about it. And we actually never ended up going. But I just remember I drove her home, and on my way back to my house, I just remember feeling so happy about the possibility of seeing the world with her, and hopefully her falling in love with me the way I was in love with her. But neither one of those ever happened. But luckily, we still remain really, really good friends.
All right, well, let's take a listen to "World Without You," and we'll be right back.
World with You.
World with You.
Yeah.
See, I told you.
I got the "you" right.
You got the "you" right. All right, we'll just punch it again. Here,
yeah. All right, well, let's take a listen to "The World with You," and we'll be right back with the interview with Marc Ambrosia.
All day in, day out in Jersey. Think it's time to run away and hope that you'll come with me. We'll go spend all our money, take a trip to somewhere, a dream-bound destination. Make that reservation. All I wanna do is see the world with you. Only 300 for the price of two. We can go to England, we can go to Italy, anywhere for you. Greece and take the ferry, and then we'll book a cruise. Both still young and beautiful,
thank you for tuning into The Balcony with Ann and Andrew and Marc Ambrosia.
You okay?
Yeah.
You stumbling tonight.
I know. I got a lot on my mind.
We got scotch.
Andrew's answer to everything.
It is scotch or duct tape.
Well, we got scotch or duct tape.
Scotch or duct tape solves everything.
Can't argue with that.
You know what?
another one.
Name a problem you can't solve without either. You got to get rid of
You!
Yeah, you can. You just duct tape my mouth. I die. Then you bury me.
I wouldn't want you to.
Or you don't want to deal with me? Drink a bottle of scotch. It doesn't matter anymore. See? Solved everything.
All right, Mark. So, you are going to be honored very shortly for the 30 Under 30. You want to tell our listeners a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. I'm really honored to be receiving this award. This whole award ceremony is put on by a nonprofit group called SNJ Millennials, which is an organization that sort of brings light and celebrates millennials out there sort of forging their own paths and managing their own business, their own careers. So I'm, I think, the lone artist that's being recognized this year, but I'm in really good company. There's a lot of other good recipients. There's some real estate agents. There's a few physicians that are under 30. There's this really great guy named John Maraglia, who is a drone specialist and does a lot of great video services with drones. So I'm in really good company, and kudos to S&J Millennials, because a lot of people don't really, they sort of overlook artists as being, CEOs of their own company. But, when you look at, being an artist takes a lot more. It's a lot more than just, doing the writing, and, there's a whole production side of things, and budgeting, and making an album, and hiring the right people to play for you, and then you have publishing that, comes into it, and sort of having to manage all of that and, keep your head straight. Definitely, I think, qualifies artists as business professionals too. So I'm really excited and thrilled that SNJ Millennials would acknowledge that. And
congratulations on that, Mark.
Thanks.
Kudos to you for your award. I want to talk about where they can get your fantastic music and any upcoming dates where somebody can come out and watch you.
We are in the process of putting a little tour together in the spring to coincide with my album release. So those dates will be announced soon, and you can head over to marcambrosia.com to find out those dates and when they will be announced. And then I'm on Instagram at Ambrosia Music, and you can follow me on Twitter and Facebook too. And then, of course, if you want to hear my latest music, you can look me up on Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon, Google, all that good stuff, YouTube, wherever you get your music.
Well, I want to tell our listeners to please go out, check it out. This is just a small little piece of what Mark has to offer. He has a lot of really fantastic music on his site, and you're going to want to listen to more after you hear what he has tonight. So I want to say thank you, Mark, for joining us on The Balcony. We really appreciate you taking time.
Thank you, Ann. Thanks, Andrew.
Oh, you're welcome. And then the last song, give him a little quick synopsis here of Bleed.
Yeah, so Bleed has got to be one of my favorite songs I've ever recorded. I was out last February walking in the woods in the middle of a cold winter, and just sort of out of nowhere, the line, how many times do you bleed when you think of me, just sort of trickled in my head. And for whatever reason, I just started writing the song, and within 5 minutes it was done. And it just sort of became a song about wanting someone to sort of, when you've experienced a heartbreak, I think one of the most natural feelings is wanting to flip the script and sort of have the person who's made you feel so bad and devastated, you sort of want them to feel a little bit of that. And so that's sort of what the song is about. And when I was in the studio, we were working on a different song that we actually ended up cutting. But in the process of working on that song, we were sort of trying to find a new melody, and we came up with the music for Bleed, and I just loved this melody so much. And then I was like, oh man, this is a good melody, but I think I want to do some different lyrics. And I ended up pulling out the lyrics for Bleed, which I had written 6 months prior in that cold walk in the woods. And I started singing the song Bleed to the new melody. And my engineer, Jamie Meyerson, just turned around and like, where has that song been? And it was just sort of a happy accident that it happened. But there were a lot of great memories and a lot of laughs and Chick-fil-A and all involved in putting this song together. And it's one I'm really proud of, and it's probably one of my favorites.
Well, you know what, Mark? I hope things brighten up for you, because wow. And the next album is going to be really light and happy, and you're going to have a lot of really great things.
Use the duct tape and the scotch. It solves all the problems.
If there was ever a guy that needed to be hanging around the Swedish bikini team,
that's right. Well, you know what? We'll get him the number. That's it. I've got a new mission now.
So again, I want to thank you for being a part of the balcony. We will keep in touch with you. When your album release, let us know, and we'll let our listeners know. So, good night, and you take care of you, and thanks again.
You guys too. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
All right, and here's Bleed off the new EP, Unleashed.
I've been hanging in the balance. I've been falling like the rain, telling you all my secrets, showing you all my pain. How many times do you bleed when you think of me? How many times do you bleed when you think of me? It's just something in your veins telling you it's a real thing. Something in your veins telling you it's a real thing. I know you didn't like it when you heard that song. It was me telling you I loved you all along, baby. How many times do you bleed when you think of me? I never tried to fool you. You just didn't want to know. But I had to tell the truth before I let you go. How many times do you bleed when you think of me? How many times do you bleed when
And up next, we have our Spotlight segment with our very own Emily Noel. Over to you, Em.